presentation which we are going to see today revolves around this making impossible things possible. I'll make sure that I don't add more of a negativity to this topic. I'll keep as much as possible positive vibes going on in this webinar. But making impossible things possible. Can we go to the next slide, please? You are a winner, right? Any person who are in this webinar or who are in this country or the world who have endured the last 45 days of physical, psychological, and financial restraints and challenges, and if we are still moving about today, it says you are a winner. You have been given a lot of challenges in the last 45 days or so, be it in the physical level or psychological level or financial level or any other levels, which the world has not seen the last 100 years, or naturally, like maybe the last World War I or II, when many of us were not even born at that time. So this is the first time we have been encountering such a huge challenge, and this has brought a lot of positive things from inside us which we are not known. Like in our day-to-day fast-paced life, we don't have time to sit back and self-analyze ourselves. These 45 days have given an immense opportunity to us to sit back, analyze ourselves, and the next few slides will say about the immense potential what we have unearthed in the last 45 days. If this scenario was not there, we will not have chance to unearth all these things. And one such thing is here, activating the selfless gene. Like our body is made up of 30,000 trillion cells, and each cells has a lot of DNA. The DNA is a blueprint which activates us or which guides us in all our day-to-day life. And selfless gene is actually an imaginary gene which I have made. We don't know whether there is a gene for being selfless or selfish, but anyway, like for just for a talk, I just named it as a selfless gene. In our day-to-day life, we do a lot of things for ourselves, for our immediate family, or for the extended family, or for the friends. But we always keep aside certain time to do some selfless work also. Whatever may be our busy schedule, we take out some time to do some selfless activities. It may be a small help to one of our neighbors. It may be a monetary help. Maybe you go out of your way and help someone do certain activities. And we do a lot of helping activity from dawn to dusk. It may be very minor, but those times we don't have time to ponder over them because we have more other activities that this selfless activity goes behind the foreground. These 45 days actually has activated the selfless gene to a great extent that it has come to the foreground. We are inside our home. They say stay home and stay safe. We are inside the home. We don't venture outside without a reason. And many of them have not crossed the compound wall for the last 45 days. Maybe a person or two from the family goes out for shopping or other things. The remaining of the family stays at home itself. Fine, for what we are doing it? We may say it is for ourselves, to safeguard ourselves from this virus. But more importantly, we know that this virus doesn't affect everyone. Even if it infects everyone, it affects only 50 to 20% of the person who are affected. Symptoms or the illness affects only for the 20%. The remaining 80% will pass through this as an asymptomatic carrier and will pass it up. Only 20% may have certain symptoms, and in this 20% also, around 15 to 17% will have a very mild illness which may not require a full-fledged treatment. But only the remaining 3%, they may have a serious illness and they may have some unexpected or unwanted complications that may even endanger their life. It's only 3%. But for this 3%, the 97% of other people have sacrificed something. They have sacrificed their independence, physical movement, their financial independence, their psychological movement. So we have the 97% of the people have sacrificed for the 3%. It is a selfless activity which we will never do it. We have closed our offices, we have closed our establishments, we have incurred losses to the tune of lakhs only to protect this 3%. And these 3% we don't know who are they. You are sacrificed for a person who is not known to you. You would have sacrificed for someone somewhere in the corner of the country, somewhere in the corner of the world, someone else. The 3% you don't know. You have not seen that person, but still you sacrificed for the last 45 days your physical movement. Like you could have easily said, like, I don't care. It's fine. I will not get any problem. Why I need to stay at home? But the people in our country or the world at large, they have not thought, like you said, mainly in India, 130 crores of people, nearly 95 to 99% have stayed at home, except for the frontline warriors. We have made this sacrifice for something. Like actually, it says how much of selfless activity we are capable of. Normally, we think of our own activities, but given a situation, we can go to a selfless genre very easily. We can, that is in our subconscious state. Normally, we don't express this selfless gene, but this episode of being at home has unearthed this subconscious capacity of being selfless. We all have this selfless gene inside, and when the moment arises, we are sure to express the same. So that's why I said we are all winners. We can harp over many negative things in the last 45 days, but we have a lot of positive thinking that can be done. It's not only positive thinking, it's a part of self-analysis, which says what we are from inside. And keeping this self-analysis, we can move forward and do many things which we had thought as impossible. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, being proactive or being reactive. Many times in our day-to-day life, we are reactive. If someone calls us a fool, immediately we get angry. Someone praises us, we become very happy. And if things go on very smoothly, we are in a very good mood. And something which goes not as expected, we are thrown out of gear and our mood gets spoiled. And we are always reactive in our activities, many times in our daily life, and many times people advise us to be proactive. But in the last 45 days, no one has asked us to be proactive, but we are proactive in many things. When someone said you can't meet in a place for a meeting or a seminar, we immediately became proactive. We didn't become reactive. We didn't feel very bad or sad, and we didn't sit harping over it. We immediately found out a way having a webinar. Webinar used to happen even before, but nowadays, even very young people, to say less than 10-year-old or 80 people above 80 years, are used to Zoom or Zoho or any other webinar platform. Generally, we don't expect elderly people of around 80 years or so get easily switched on to the technology so easily. But in the last 45 days or so, people are so proactive that they can easily adapt to newer technologies, not only technology. We have been proactive in every other way, be it the way we conduct ourselves for the 24 hours, being inside the home, we can become very irritable, we can throw a lot of tantrums. But the initial few days maybe would have been difficult for us. But the next coming ensuing days, we slowly became proactive. We understood that we are going to stay inside home for the next 1 or 2 months, and we need to devise ways in which way we can make ourselves better. We can see a lot of college students or youngsters silently doing a lot of online courses in this time of lockdown. People who are increasing their talents. I've seen people going for online dance classes. Even cricket coaching has become online. So we have devised a lot of proactive measures. We can also say that our proactive genes also become active now. This has given a lesson to us, being proactive. Many people can say a lot of advices, suggestions. Psychologists can ask you to be proactive. But when you experience yourself to be proactive, being proactive, you know what is it. Maybe from the next month or so, even maybe after 2 or 3 months, when things get settled, when we go back to the normal life, we may forget many of the hardships which we had undergone the last 45 days. But still, in the subconscious state, this being proactive that has been registered very strongly, and that will come into play because subconscious mind is the one which drives your activities in your day-to-day life. So being proactive is strongly registered in your subconscious mind. So even though you forget the happenings what you have undergone the last 45 days or so, maybe after 3 or 6 months, you'll carry on your regular activity forgetting all these things, but your subconscious mind will keep on reminding you of being proactive. How many ever sessions of psychologists doing a cognitive behavior therapy or any other sessions where he says and tries to make you proactive will not help you. Now, you yourself have developed this quality of being proactive and not on a superficial level. It has gone registered deep into your subconscious mind. Even unknowingly, tomorrow you'll do your activities on a proactive plane. You'll be reactive, but the ratio of being proactive will increase manifold. Next slide, please. Yeah, acceptance. These 45 days has made one more quality in us, that is accepting the situation as such. Even a cancer patient, when he's made known of his diagnosis, initially he'll be in a state of denial. He'll say, no, 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 I have not got cancer, I will not accept it, you are wrong. Then he'll go into a rage, he'll become very angry. Then he'll have a self-pity stage. Why I must get? I didn't do anything wrong. I've been very pious in this activity, in my activities. I have been a teetotaler. I have not indulged in any bad activities. Why I must get a cancer? So there will be a denial, there will be a rage, there will be an angry face, there will be a self-pity, and at last he'll accept it without any other option. So it's not only for cancer, for any situation, we go through all this denial, rage, or angry, self-pity, and at last accept it without any option. But this period of lockdown, or staying home, or depriving ourselves of our physical, psychological, and financial independence, we accepted it very fast. We didn't have a great period of denial, rage, or angry, or self-pity to accept it without any other option. We accepted it proactively. We accepted within 1 or 2 days. It didn't take much of a time to accept it because we were driven on a proactive plane. We knew what is going on there. and we knew what is the best option now, and we accepted very well. And this also will get registered in our subconscious mind to a great extent. So tomorrow, the way we react to our environment and other surroundings, our acceptance of the situation will be easier. Who knew that Eiffel Tower will be closed for such a long time? Nobody in their wildest dreams would have imagined all the airlines would have grounded their fleet of flights for such a long time. Nobody would have imagined that the whole world would have come to a stop for 2 or 3 months at a stretch, and the Indian Railways not operating a single train for 30, 40 days. Things which we have not expected that have happened. So we have started accepting things on a healthier plane. We don't go through the earlier phase of denial, rage, anger, self-pity, and then coming to acceptance. We have started accepting things on a better plane. We are getting more and more matured. Though we may not know this on a superficial plane, a psychologist can easily understand this. Many things, many changes are going on in our subconscious level, that too on a very concrete basis. These changes which are going on in the subconscious plane will come very handy in our way of handling things in the future. Maybe after 3 or 6 months, when things come to a balance and when we start resuming our old style of life, these things will come in handy. We'll become more innovative, we'll become more proactive, we'll accept things on a better skewed or a matured level. We'll have time to sit back, analyze, even, and we'll become more selfless, not only for the quest of uh, advertisement, we'll do a real selfless activity. So this lockdown is not totally negative. It's not only for escaping from the infection of a virus. Knowingly or unknowingly, it has made a lot of change in your psychological plane. And I know many people have used this for a change in their physical activity also. So these 45 days to 2 or 3 months, what happens, we have used it very, very proactively and on a very useful plane, and this will come very handy in our life to come ahead. Next slide, please. Right. Leaving aside the self-analysis part, we'll see something which is taught to us in our medical school very early. They say this is the model of health, a basic model of health, a triangle where one side is agent, the other side is environment, and the third one is the host response. Which means agent may be any physical agent like a bacteria or a virus or a microbe or a parasite or fungus or anything else, or any other stimulus like the sunlight or a extreme winter or a psychologically challenging situation or anything that can be an agent. An environment can be both an internal and external environment. What happens inside a person's body or what happens outside his body is surrounding. It may be comfortable or uncomfortable. It can be favorable or unfavorable. And third is the host. Host means the person. It may be human or any other animal. Like in our sense, we'll make it human, a human. So there is always an interplay between these three variables, and these three variables decide whether the person is healthy or not. The interaction between the agent, environment, and host. And we need to be in balance with all these things. We can't avoid the agent, we can't avoid the environment. The host is the fixed one, but the agent and the environment keeps on changing. There is always an interplay between the three variables, and if the response to the agent and the environment with the host is very appropriate and he or she remains healthy. Even if he gets a disturbance or a disease, if the response is appropriate, there is a very quick recovery period, and he or she gets back to the healthy state very fast. If not, if the host is not responding to the agent and environment in an appropriate manner, he or she will go into a sickness. Or it can be another, like if it is an response too much to the environmental agent, that also can lead to some issues. So we must know this: agent, environment, and host. These three have an interplay, and of this, the most important variable is the host. Host is the person who decides whether this agent will affect me, whether this environment will affect me or not. Agent and environment can give you a stimulus, it can give you an option, but the decision is taken only by the host. So there is an increased importance of host that is being understood nowadays. Earlier, they were concentrating more on the agent and the environment for keeping a person healthy. But we have been saying for a long time, and now the world has understood that the host is the most important thing in this interplay between agent, environment, and the host. So, if the host is strong, if he is appropriately able to respond to the agent and environment, the resultant will be a healthy state. Next slide, please. Right. So, domain of bacteria, virus, parasites, or any other microorganisms, fungus, and any other. This world doesn't belong only to the human being. It belongs to millions and millions, billions of other organisms, microorganisms. At any given time, our body is covered. I don't say it gives. It is present. It is covered with thousands and lakhs of bacteria and virus and other fungus, both internally and externally. We are surrounded by virus and bacteria in any given time, and they are not new to us. We are always living with them. We live in harmony with the bacteria, virus, and parasite. We have lots of friendly bacteria in our gut, which helps in our day-to-day metabolism, day-to-day digestion, day-to-day formation of certain vitamins and other elements. It helps in our digestive process a lot. And if these bacteria are not there in our gut, it leads to a lot of troubles. We call them commensal or friendly bacteria. And we have a lot of other bacteria which are pathogenic or which can cause diseases that are present inside and outside our body. But they don't cause an illness always, because it is a host which has to allow them. If the host is weak, if his response is not appropriate, then the bacteria, virus, or parasite can take over and cause a disease. But if the host is strong, if his barriers are strong, if he is able to mount an appropriate response, these virus, bacteria, or parasites, or any other microorganisms may not cause an illness so easily. So, again, reiterate that the host is very, very important. I agree that the agent and environment also are important. We can't be careless with the agent, or we can't be careless with the environment. But we need to understand host occupies a superior place than the agent in the environment. And if the agent is strong enough, he can ward off any unfavorable advances with the bacteria, virus, or the fungus, or even the environment. Right. So it's not that this virus always affects us. They are there with us all through the time. Why suddenly certain viruses causes a disease on a very large scale? Fine. When this virus or bacteria are with us on a same structure for a long time, our body would have got used to this, and it knows how to fight against this. But sometimes these viruses and bacteria, not sometimes, many times, they keep on changing their structure. It's called a mutation. They keep mutating, they change the structures then and there. And sometimes these change the structure so much our body doesn't recognize it properly. It can't respond properly. It can't mount an appropriate host response to fight against it. So sometimes such new mutated organisms are a puzzle to our body. So at that time, they may cause a widespread illness on a great geographical plane. But after some time, our body understands, fine, this is a virus or a bacteria, this has changed its shape or a structure like this, and we need to fight like this. Our body learns it. Once it learns, this virus or a bacteria will not be a very great problem for it. Our swine flu, which came in 2009, initially it was a great problem. It killed thousands of people. But after some time, our body got used to it, and now we can face it in a better way. Even your dengue, initially it was such a confusion. A lot of people are getting sick with the dengue virus. But nowadays, gradually, the proportion of people getting sick with dengue may increase, but people with serious dengue complications are already decrease. We again and again reiterate that host strengthening the host is is of the paramount importance. Next slide, please. Right. So, getting the host to be strong is our primary agenda. So, importance of being healthy. If the host is strong, if we can mount an appropriate strong response, we can escape from many infections, except for a few infections which are new. When the virus becomes mutated, he may get sick, but if the host response is good, he'll have a mild sickness from which he can easily come out. He may not become dangerously ill. So, being healthy is very, very important. So, there are two ways of preventing a disease. One is called a primary prevention, and the other one is a secondary prevention. Primary prevention is the prevention which we do before an illness or a disease strikes us. When we are still healthy, when we don't have any complaints. So it's called is the best prevention that is possible, because it will not lead any disturbance or a damage to your original physical or a psychological path. So you can remain healthy to the core. But secondary prevention is the method and ways by which you can stay healthy to maximum possible level after you have got some disease. Now, why I'm saying is that, like, in this pandemic, people are saying, like, people who are young and healthy will not have any complications. They say that people who have any comorbid state, earlier comorbid state like a hypertension or a diabetes or a cardiac issue or a renal issue or any other immunocompromised state will have certain complications. So immediately these group of people have gone into panic mode. They get calls every day like, sir, I'm having diabetes, will I have a complication? I have a renal disease, will I have a complication? Fine. It's not that having a disease itself, like in this time of pandemic, you are at a risk. Fine. You can try to ward off the complaints by staying at home, staying safe. But this actually has made a clear thing that primary prevention is very good. But even if you have got some illness, try to keep yourself as much as healthy as possible. It's not the medicines. You can say my hypertension is controlled with medicines. My sugar levels are controlled with the help of medicines. My heart is functioning well with the help of medicines. Medicines only help you to maintain what is there. But to stay healthy, you need to take certain steps. It's not that popping up a pill will make you healthy. Fine, that is also needed to maintain the illness and making you more and more healthy. That is only one part of the treatment. The other part of the treatment is with you, how to make yourself healthy. So the importance of being healthy must be reiterated again and again. As far as possible, primary prevention is good. Make yourself healthy before you get sick, or even if you have got some illness, do certain activities whereby you can make yourself healthy with the comorbid state and need not worry about getting a complication in any pandemic. We can become proactive and make ourselves ready for any eventuality anytime. You may not know any what virus will crop on anytime. God forbid, no more virus was come in such a great scale. But even if something is coming in, we must be ready in our physical and psychological state to face anything. So next time, even if you have a comorbid state, people must say like comorbid state is fine, but you don't have any need for worry. Fine. Next slide, please. Fine. So this slide, I'm going to talk in the language of a financial advisor. Financial advisors usually say your investments, you start early and stay invested. This is a mantra they say. Like, you can't start investing after the age of 60 and expect a very good return. If you want a very good return from your financial investments, you must start early. How much early is possible? 20s. You can start early. And it's not only starting, when they say stay invested. It's not that I have invested a lakh of rupees in the age of 25 and I don't do any more investments. The age of 60, I expect a crore of rupee and I may not get it. So financial advisors usually say you start early in investing and you stay invested. And then you can expect reap a very good result when you are in the withdrawal stage. Similarly, on a health plane also, you need to start early. Many times when you ask persons like when you expect hypertension to start or increased high BP levels to start, people say like usually 40 sir. 40 is the time when we start getting in high BP. Gradually it becomes 30 and even 20 is nowadays with the lifestyle. We say 20, 25 or 30 we get hypertension or diabetes or increased cholesterol levels or any psychological problems also. But studies have revealed that these diseases don't start in the 30s or 40s. It starts in your first decade of life. Before 10 years of life, it is decided whether you get a diabetes or hypertension or psychological issues. Even personality disorders can be made out before 10 years of age. So how you conduct yourself in the first 10 years, how healthy you are, how strong you are, that decides the whole lifetime of health. So many times we think of giving a wealthy state or a good corpus of wealth to our children. We invest and save for their higher education, for their marriage, for their future life. We give a lot of importance and concentration for that also. More importantly, along with it, I don't say that is not important, along with that, we need to give them a very good health. It's not that after 20 or 30, we go for a walk or a jogging or take into some sports to make them healthy. It starts very early. You need to be starting your quest for being healthy right from the age of 5 or 7 or 10. So people who are obese, like we say like my child is chubby, I like it. Like obesity, a child being obese is not a thing of being happy. It is something to be worried about. I don't say that you must not look healthy, and obesity or overweight in the childhood is a really cause for concern. So you are staying active, picking up some exercises, or some sporting activities, having a very good schedule of sleep, a good schedule of diet, a healthy diet, very good psychological development. It doesn't happen by the children themselves. The parents are to be role models. We can't. I can't ask my son to do an exercise if I'm not doing an exercise. If I don't follow a very good diet pattern or a sleep pattern, sleep hygiene, I can't expect them to do. So it is we to be a role model for them. And many times when we start giving them a very healthy childhood, both on a physical plane and a psychological plane, when you have a very good confidence, not only on a physical plane, a good confidence in the young age itself, making them to act on an assertively, behave assertively, a very good self-esteem that will help them to ward off any situation in their life. It may be a physical issue like this, or a psychological issue, or a financial challenge. They can face anything. So, along with the wealth creation, we need to concentrate on this health creation for the children, and also for us. So, be healthy, whatever may be the situation, whatever may be the agent, whatever may be the environment. If the host is strong enough, we can come over the challenge posed on to us anytime in our life. I hope the deliberations which I made was useful to you, and I'm open to any questions from you. I can help you in clearing any of your doubts. And thanks again for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. It has been a wonderful talk, and may we request the participants to use the chat box, which is that question and answer box, which is there, to register your questions to the doctor. Meanwhile, I will summarize a few of the things what doctor has been saying across. Uh, First thing is started as we are all winners with 45 days of we surviving. We are going through this pandemic crisis. We are all winners. We have attracted that selfless gene in us, and proactiveness has gone up tremendously in each one of us. Doctor has demonstrated that with kind of examples what he has given. He said we are better accept we are better in terms of acceptance, and that has made us brilliant individuals. It has even improved our subconscious mind might have registered this acceptance, and we should be better individuals going forward. And he explained beautifully about this agent, environment, and host response. He reiterated that host response is the most important thing. How we respond to the external environment or the agent, the virus, is the most important thing which we need to take care. He beautifully explained about the domain of bacteria, virus, and parasite. So how to manage that, and he also gave highlight on importance of being healthy, primary prevention as well as secondary prevention. Um, the surprises that he correlated this health as well as wealth factors with that last slide of stay early, stay healthy. So which was beautifully put. He could able to given lot of analogies with respect to health and wealth, which are very important for every one of us. Thank you, Doctor. The talk has been really wonderful, and hope this would have given a lot of clarity to the participants. We had almost close to 100 plus participants. So now we will be taking few question and answers. So let us know take that thing across. So, sir, the first question is, as a practicing homeopath, what do you recommend for immunity against COVID?
Fine, sir. Ayush Ministry, Government of India, it has chalked out a clear plan. It has given a preventive medicine. The government has announced a preventive medicine, um, which helps as an immune booster or a prophylactic against the COVID-19. It's called arsenic R-Salb 30. 4 pills to be taken daily morning in empty stomach for 3 days and can be repeated after a month once more if still the epidemic stays on. So arsenic al 30, 4 pills daily morning, empty stomach for 3 days, once in a month is the prescribed prophylactic by the government of India.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I hope everyone has noted that medicine at salve. And from the second question is from Mr. Prabhu, who asked, from now on, when do we expect a cure in for COVID-19?
Fine. So actually, all viral infections, most of the viral infections are self-limiting, and majority of the viral illnesses, if you see, on an allopathic plane, because I don't confine myself to an homeopathic doctor or an allopathic doctor right now. I just talk on the as a representative of the medical field as a whole. On an allopathic side, we don't have any medicine as such for any viral illnesses. There are certain antivirals, but many times all the viral illnesses are self-limiting, and viral diseases are treated on a symptomatic basis. So many of the viral illness get better by themselves in 3 or 4 days. Certain viral illnesses are dangerous, and they have certain medicines. Even this COVID-19, they may come with a vaccine, like a flu vaccine, which will add on to our immunity, which will improve the host to respond better, so that next time when you get exposed to this virus, your body may not get any adverse reaction, or your body can easily overcome this infection. And there is no set cure in a medical world for a viral infection. It is more of a prevention or an improving the host response. And homeopathic medicine, usually on a homeopathic plane, homeopathic medicine generally uh, concentrates more on the host response to improve the host response. So we don't need to find out any new medicine for this COVID-19. The medicines which are already there in the homeopathic armamentarium are more than enough to take care of this pandemic also. Like if you can improve the host response with the help of homeopathic medicines, you can overcome this COVID-19 also. So vaccines will come in a year or so, 6 months to 1 year, and that will help us to have a even more better prevention of these viral infections.
Thanks, Doctor. Mr. Pai has asked a question. I have seen a forward, which says that there is a article from Italy that this entire thing deaths are not caused by pneumonia. Now they have identified it as thrombosis.
Yeah.
So instead of treating the virus, we need to treat the inflammation. Anti-inflammations are very, very important. Any views on that?
Fine, sir. Actually, it's a very big topic. It's a topic for medical doctors, and I don't know how to put it simply to you, on a simple plane to you. Fine. Actually, what happens is whenever a virus comes into your body, it enters a particular cell and takes over it. It hijacks the particular cell and it converts it into its own domain. So a virus is more of a non-living thing. It can't function by itself. So when it enters in our body, it enters a particular cell, takes over the cell, hijacks the cell's parts machinery and makes its own domain. So from there it keeps on multiplying and causing a disease. So our body immediately understanding that there is a threat to ourselves, it will cause certain chemicals to fight against this one. It's called inflammation. So our body does certain preventive measures. It causes a lot of white blood cells to go to the place. It fights over. Bodies produce its own antibodies. It fights over to it. It releases chemicals called cytokines, which can kill these viruses. All are done by the body to the in a response to this viral infection. Suppose it has many levels, like initial infection is inflammatory change, initially certain chemicals. If we are successful in killing the virus, our body will stop with that. If it is still spreading, it will go to the next step, step 2, where there will be more inflammation. And if it is not getting better, even after that, it will go to step 3 or step 4. So, even this viral illnesses, the symptoms you get many different levels of this one, like uh, Ramya, 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 screen. You get very different levels. Different levels actually. So step 1, if the mild infection is there, you'll get only a throat irritation. You'll get a throat irritation. Or if it is going to step 2, you'll get a sneezing, runny nose, nose block, a cough, and a body pain. Or if the inflammation in fighting process has gone to the stage 3, you may get a pneumonia. Sometimes the fighting process goes beyond that. It goes to step 4. When it goes beyond pneumonia, then there is a generalized inflammation all over the body. And in this generalized inflammation, it is called a septic state or a sepsis, septicemia or sepsis. This is a stage, sepsis stage, where our body, usually blood doesn't clot inside our body. It clots only outside our body. Whenever we get an injury, whenever there is a bleeding wound, it clots. Our body has devised a very good manner that it will not clot, the blood will not clot inside the body. But if this fight against the virus goes beyond step 3 to step 4, where there is a generalized inflammation, that time body will be in utter chaos. Too much of inflammation, blood clots inside our own body, that disrupts a lot. So pneumonia is also a part of presentation of this viral illness. Septicemia is also a part of presentation of this viral illness. So you see many people in many different categories. Some may be asymptomatic, some may have only a throat irritation, some may have a flu-like symptom, some may have a simple pneumonia, some may go beyond pneumonia into a septic stage where they can have a intravascular coagulation called DIC, disseminated intravascular coagulation, that can cause multiple organ failure and eventually death. This depends on how the host is responding. If the response is appropriate, this may not happen. If the response is too much more than needed, it may cause even septic stage. And giving anti-inflammatories is not the right way to do this. Actually, giving anti-inflammatory in this stage will cause more trouble than an improvement. So, such messages have half truth in them, and they have they actually don't help us in getting a very good picture. They actually only creates more confusion. So this study from Italy said only about a particular stage. It doesn't mean that all COVID-19 patients are only in that stage. And mainly in the Western countries, Italy, Spain, and other European countries, the host response was too much than what was required. So many people, like actually Indians, are a bit safer because we encounter a lot of virus and bacteria on a day-to-day life because our environment is not so clean. Though it was a disadvantage to us, now in this pandemic it has come as an advantage to us. We have seen a lot of virus and bacteria, and our body knows how to fight against it in a simple manner. But people in Western countries where environment is even more clean and perfect, they are not exposed to a lot of infections like what we do. So when suddenly a strong infection comes, the body doesn't know how to respond. They respond more than what was required. That was the reason many people went into a septic stage in Western countries, and that's why there were a lot of mortality. So Indians, the mortality rate is low mainly because our body knows how to fight and how to mount an appropriate response, whatever is really needed. And about the Italian study is only a half truth. Please don't go 100% with it.
Thank you, doctor. Uh, there are no questions which are coming up. For time paucity, I will try to add one or two questions together. Mr. Anirudh Divakar has asked what food supplements will help to overcome COVID, and Mr. Prabhu has asked how to improve our immunity. What food supplements and how to improve our immunity.
Fine,
These are the
there is no specific food supplement that can improve our immunity against COVID-19. It is only improving immunity against every possible pathogen. Hmm. So, a basic homemade food, which is being followed by your tradition, whatever tradition you follow. Homemade traditional food offers a lot of food that is having a lot of ingredients for immunity. Any fruit, any vegetable that is seasonal in nature. It's not that you need to consume only apple all through the year. Our nature gives fruits and vegetables based on that particular season's requirement. The months of November, December, January, the winter when there is a lot of viral infections, we get a lot of vitamin C based fruits like your pineapple, musambi, orange, grapes. So you need to eat lots of fruits and vegetables that is particularly suitable for that season and that is indigenously grown. And improving your immunity and vitamin C is very good. And all our ginger, all our masalas, like all our spices, have a lot of ingredients which on a regular consumption can improve our immunity. And improving our immunity is not only with the food, it requires many other things like having a very good physical activity, not 1 hour of physical activity, exercise in a gym or a exercise center. It's all through the day how you make yourself active and how good you sleep. You get a very good sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene, especially between 12 and 4 in the night, you must not be awake. 12 and 4 is a time when many of our hormones must be on the lower side. When we are awake between 12 and 4, our biological clock is reset and there is a lot of possibility of immune deficiency. And a very good sleep hygiene, a very good diet hygiene, good physical activity, and psychologically a very good self-esteem, a very confident person, a very good assertive behavior, a very good self-esteem. All these put together will give you a very good immune schedule to you. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Mr. Santanam has asked this question whether the prophylactic medicine mentioned by the doctor is for all, that is, irrespective of diabetic, hypertension, malignant patient, etc.
Yeah, it is irrespective of age and their health status. It is for everyone from 0 to 100. Anyone can take this, and more importantly, people who are having some comorbid state need to take this prophylactic because they have a chance of getting infected a bit on the higher plane. So even if you have a health issue or you are on any other medicine, you can take this, and there is no interaction between this medicine and the medicine which you are already taking, and you need not stop any other medicine when you are on this prophylactic.
Mr. Arpudraj has asked, do you consider COVID-19 virus so serious as compared to other prevailing one? And there is a connected question from Sarangrajan, why so many deaths because of COVID? So,
Yeah, that's all. Like actually, all viruses, when they are used to us, like when we know about this virus for 5 or 10 years or 15 years, our body knows how to fight against this or how to co-live with this virus. But suddenly, if the virus changes its shape and structure, it starts behaving as if it is new to this world. And our body, because if it is new to the world, it doesn't know how to fight it against this. Our body has two types of immunity. One is called an innate immunity, and the other one is called an adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is like a shotgun. You just shoot without exactly wanting the target to be exactly hit 100%. You just shoot. But there's something called an adaptive immunity, which is like a sniper gun. You can shoot it 100% perfectly. So we develop adaptive immunity to a new organism only after some time. So it takes some time for us to get used to this virus, a new virus. Then we can find, like maybe the same COVID-19, if it comes up to 2 years, it will not be a big issue for us. It will be a seasonal issue where hundreds or thousands of people will get infected. After a month or so, that schedule of infection will go off because it is something new to us, and virus is having a capacity to spread everywhere. It is very fast in spreading, and a new virus spreads like a wildfire. And many people are dying mainly because in Western countries, to say about Italy, mainly because people are the average age people who have died in Italy is around 78. There are lots of elderly people in Italy, and all these elderly people have suffered a lot of death. That's why, like, because they have a lot of comorbid state. When you become old, your immune status becomes less, your host response becomes inappropriate. That's why you get a lot of death. And because Western countries have not seen a lot of infections on a day-to-day basis, so their body are not ready to fight infections on a healthy plane. They have overreacted. Whereas people which are considered as developing countries, these countries have got a lesser mortality rate because their host response is more appropriate.
Thank you, sir. Very interesting. Uh, there is a very interesting question again from Mr. Lakshmipati, who asked, WHO representative says vegetarians are safe against COVID-19. Is it true?
Fine. I'm not very sure, sir. Like actually, like they don't know clearly about this COVID-19 virus. Whatever has been said are learnt only for the last 3 months. So only when we study about this virus on a longer duration, we'll know clearly about it. But now, no, like initially it was thought this virus came from a bat to human. Even now they say, and they say from some animals it is coming like so. They have thought that why to go for a non-vegetarian food? It may come. It is not 100% true that non-vegetarians are at a risk
Okay.
because there is no much of clarity about this virus because they have not studied a lot. They have given this as a healthy advice maybe after a year or so we'll have a very clarified picture, and they can give a very good guidance on that. On a personal note, I don't believe that non-vegetarians are at an increased risk, but I'll say like if you are a non-vegetarian who eats a lot of vegetables and fruits, you stand a better chance.
Great. Thank you, sir. Mr. Krishna Kumar has asked, regular usage of hand sanitizer causes dryness. How frequently can we use hand sanitizer?
Like when you are at home in your own place, you don't stand chance of getting infected so easily. So at home, there is no need of regularly washing with the soap and sanitizer. Sanitizer is to be used only when you don't have a chance of getting a soap or the water. It is not to be used on a regular basis. People have started using hand sanitizer even at home. Hand sanitizer is to be used where you don't get a chance of washing with the water. Best option will be washing with the water and a mild soap. It need not be a hand wash always. Whatever soap you use, because this soap, this virus has a covering which is made of fat. So our soap will disturb this fat layer, so that virus will get exposed and it will be made inactive very easily. That's why you use soap. It doesn't say that you will use only alcohol-based sanitizer or you will use only hand wash or something. Any soap, and when you are at home, you need not use sanitizer at all. When you go outside to your bank or to a shop where they want your hand to be clean and free of infection, they may provide you a sanitizer. That time you can use it. at home you need not use it, because naturally any strong soap or any alcohol based sanitizer, when you use it repeatedly, it will cause dryness of your skin. It may even disturb you. You don't use sanitizer always. You use a mild soap with water when you are at home. When you go outside and when you come out, if you are at home, use only soap and water. When you are in a place where you can't get water, you use a sanitizer.
Great, sir. Thank you. Um, Mrs. Premi has asked this question: how is it eating bread and bakery products? Is it safe? Eating bread and bakery product, is it safe?
Right. Whatever is mission packed is always good. Mm. And people, food industry people are very careful that they use proper gloves and they make all food products. So when proper hygiene is followed by the chef in making these bakery products, I don't think there will be a problem. But if you are not sure about the hygiene that is followed by this chef in the bakery, any thing which is not machine made, be a bit careful. Breads which are coming in a packed way, machine packed, are a bit safer than other bakery products which are exposed open in the bakery, because we don't know like how hygienic or how hygienic measures they are following. So it is better to avoid anything which is open and made with the hands. If it is machine made and packed and you get it like that in a bakery, that is better. So breads which is packed, machine packed, will not cause much of an issue. And if you are very sure about the hygienic process of the bakery production, you can go with it. No issues.
Okay. Another question has come, sir. Accessory management of COVID positive patient who are at home isolation, like gargling, steam inhalation, etc., etc. Can you
Yeah.
throw some light on
Yeah,
that?
these are small extra ways to make this virus inactive, because virus can survive somewhere between 20, 23, 25 degrees of centigrade. So when you inhale steam or when you gargle hot water gargling or a salt and hot water gargling, you increase the temperature inside your nose and throat, because when you increase for this virus increase enters either through your nose or through your mouth and stays there for some time and then invades the other parts. So when you take a steam inhalation, the temperature inside the nose becomes slightly increased. When you do a hot water gargling, the temperature inside your throat gets increased, and there is more chance you actually help your body. You add one more armamentarium, you help it, there's more chance for the virus to get inactivated in the nose or throat itself. So you may not get an infection or the disease at all. So it is one of the measures. There's nothing wrong in doing this. You can do this. Only thing, let us not become very paranoid about it. We can do it, but it's like you must not become paranoid about it.
Right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Christopher has asked this question. After the life cycle of this COVID virus, it is said that a new virus more dangerous than this will emerge. Can you please clarify?
And these are presumptions. Also. And, nobody in the scientific world knows when and where any other virus can happen. Hmm. To be very clear, we have lakhs and millions and billions of virus all over the world right now, and emergence of a new virus, no one knows, because every virus changes its body structure every time. It's not that only after COVID-19. The last thousands of years, virus and bacteria keeps on changing its shape and structure, and new viruses can happen on a regular basis. Every minute or in every hour, new virus or bacteria can happen. But we don't know when it will become pathological. Maybe after 100 more years. 1919 was the time when we got Spanish influenza. We had a pandemic where all over the world it was involved. Maybe in lakhs and crores people died. After 100 years, we have got such a pandemic, and we don't know whether in the near future we'll have one more episode of also. Like there was something called the Hanta virus that has been circulated. Like it's not sure. There's no clarity that a new virus will come very fast, and I'm very confident that with these measures, people will start behaving in a more healthy way. The social distancing, the mask you use, the preventive measures you use, whatever virus or bacteria comes will not affect you in the near future. And you'll concentrate more on building your immune system so that you can ward off any new virus or bacteria that comes. And I don't think any in near future any more pandemic will come. Please don't go about any stories that is coming on the WhatsApp. And WhatsApp stories are 98% false.
Okay. Thank you, sir. It has been a very interesting answer. Sir, this I will take it as a last question as we are now running out of the time. Mm, I have not noted down the medicine prescribed by the doctor. Can we repeat the name along with spelling or something? So that is what the question has come in
It,
from
it, it
Divakar.
is it is Ars Alb, ARS dot ALB, B for ball, Bombay. Ars Alb 30. The power is 30. You get in all medical homeopathic medical stores, and nowadays even all doctors give it uh, distribution. Many doctors give it on a free basis, but you can get it in pharmacies also. Arsenic Alb 30. It is to be taken 4 pills. These pills are to be just chewed. No need to drink a cup of water and swallow it. You can just put it in the mouth. It will dissolve by itself. 4 pills once a day, daily morning, empty stomach for 3 days. And after a month, if there is still the episode that is going on, you can have one more cycle of 3 more days.
Right. Uh, Thank you, doctor, for the wonderful discussion. For uh, persons who would like to know, reach a doctor for his consultation. Any personal questions you have, you can probably take it. As this is a webinar, we may not know in a position to take personal questions. So, in case you have any questions, this the screen is flashing with the details. You can take a photograph, uh, you can note down the numbers or address, and doctor is available majorly in Nanganallur clinic, and weekly once he comes to Ashok Nagar center. So you can reach him at those centers. His things are there. So his details are there. Hope you have now taken the photographs if it is nearer to you. So you can go and consult the doctor. So thank you, doctor. Before we ending, we need to thank because with very short notice you could able to come, and you could start you could participate. We need to be very very thankful to you from Dakshin Capital family, and I'm sure our clients, our investors would have got very good insight with the way you have explained. With respect to doctor, we always have great respect for him because of his simplicity and down to earth thing. I need to thank my wife, Dr. Reshma, incidentally homeopath, who has recommended Dr. Anantharaman to us, and he has been wonderful in all the activities we have done through him. He has been very very supportive, and thank you, doctor. It will go a long way for the wonderful gesture you have done. And the participants, we request you to give your feedback in that chat box before leaving, and you can reach anywhere. You have some personal things. You have you can reach doctor too. So we request you to give your one-liner feedback on the thing. Any improvement to be required also you can specify. Once again, we thank you, doctor, for the wonderful
Thank,
presentation, and it has been a
thank you very much,
great honor for us.
thank you very much for the wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So with this, now we come to the end of the webinar. So you can share if you have not shared in your box, you can share it in our contact numbers too. Thanks a lot. Thank you.